All right, it is Wednesday. It is 4:30 p.m. Central Time. It means it's office hours here on the Academy. And today, not only Ignite Week, hence my I'm dressing up for the occasion. We also have a very special guest joining us. Welcome again, Richard. How are things?
Very good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. And hi to you, Andrew.
Hello. I'm just Andrew today. Now that we have Richard here with us. Happy to have you here today, Richard.
Great to be on there.
Not just Andrew, but welcome nonetheless. All right. All right. So obviously, with Ignite going on this week, there has been a good chunk of news streaming out from the event. But before diving into that, Richard, for those of you who haven't met you before, who are you?
So my name is Richard Hicks. I'm the founder and principal consultant at Richard M. Hicks Consulting, and I specialize in two areas of focus. That would be secure remote access, as well as digital certificates and PKI. So I've been working with remote access technologies for the better part of 30-ish years or so. And Microsoft and non-Microsoft platforms. So I've done a lot of work with direct access, always on VPN, now moving towards Entra private access. Have been working with enterprise PKI, specifically around Active Directory certificate services now for probably the better part of 20 years. And so amassed quite a bit of expertise there. So those are the two areas that I get involved in. And today, the reason you guys are having me on is because there are some certificate related things that are coming up for systems management folks that I kind of went down on a rabbit hole with the last couple of weeks. And I thought it'd be great to come on and share that with you and your audience and bring everybody up to speed and talk about some things that, one, that I have discovered, and two, a tool that I actually created that might be helpful for your audience as well.
That sounds awesome. Well, I'm going to hold you off a couple of minutes. Andrew, anything from your end that you have been stumbled across?
Yes, a couple of things. If you would like to share my screen. I have not, admittedly, it's been a busy couple of days and have not been able to digest all of the Ignite information, that's for sure.
Well,
but I do have some stuff.
Yeah, all right. I have some stuff as well, but I'll share your screen and
excellent.
There we are.
Thank you. The first one, this actually came up. I wanted to talk to you about this yesterday, Johan, because we were talking about Martin Himkin's Intune network requirements script. And he had a version that he released recently that added a couple of things. Connected cache endpoints, NuGet endpoints, and an ID to service list here. And I just thought this was interesting. I should back up for a second too, for a little bit of context for those of you that have not seen this script. This is a fantastic script that will actually help test against a number of services to make sure a device actually has access to things like Intune, Entra, Defender, and so forth. But when I looked at this ID to service list that he just added in here, these are, as I understand it, a number of endpoints that are not necessarily in the official list of endpoints, but devices still need to communicate to them. And some of these endpoints show up as delivery optimization, TPM attestation, Entra ID authentication. And if we go down here, there's this whole list of MCC services that are added into the script now. And with this list, we can actually see exactly what these things are connecting to and what these individual endpoints are made to support. So I just thought that was cool to see that listed out that way. Because if you go to the lists that Martin has here, say this one, for example, what you see when you look at the list itself are just a bunch of FQDNs and ports that are being tested against. And when we look at the list in this way, we may not know exactly which services are affected by these URLs. Nevertheless, I did not realize that there were this many endpoints for all of these different, all of this different content here, basically. So very cool stuff.
Just a couple.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? I believe this was, yes, just earlier this week. Saw this posted in a few areas, but came across this post from Daniel Bradley. There is now direct PowerShell script support added for Win32 app deployments, which is fantastic. What that means is up to this point, basically, if we wanted to run an install command in a Win32 app in Intune, we actually had to call the PowerShell executable and point to a script. But now we can simply say we don't want to run command line. We want to actually run a PowerShell script, point to the script that we have in our content, and away we go. It's a much nicer way of handling this thing natively, I think. Thought you'd be excited for that one, Johan.
Mm-hmm.
Also have I think have showcased this a few times, but there is a PowerShell module. I love this one. How do you usually put it, Johan? A PowerShell module for uninstalling PowerShell modules, put together by Meryl Fernando, and the need for this PowerShell module, which is called Uninstall-Graph, is when we are updating or managing Microsoft Graph PowerShell modules, you have to uninstall every one of the dozens of submodules that exist before you uninstall the last one, the authentication module, because every one of those modules relies on the authentication module. So Meryl put this module out there a while ago, but just recently came back and updated it earlier this week to fix Windows PowerShell support. And this now also will uninstall the Entra PowerShell module, which also relies on the Microsoft Graph authentication module. So there was that. And then came across this one on the Entra side of things. If you want to remove or manage inactive user accounts in Entra, you can do that, specifically guest accounts. You can do that with Entra governance licenses. That makes it very, very easy for you to do. However, Tony Redman over at Office 365 IT Pros posted this blog post and PowerShell script to do the same type of thing. So if you don't have Entra governance licenses in your tenant, I would recommend checking this out. This is very important. And then I think that probably leads into, well, any other news you may have, Johan, but also some Ignite stuff. And if there's something interesting in there that you miss and I happen to catch, I'll just simply add it.
All right, sounds good. How about you, Richard?
Yeah, good question. Do you want me to go into this whole thing with UEFI certificates and so forth, or do we want to do that a little bit later?
Well, since it's not necessarily news, more like technical details, we might want to skip it to after the news session.
Yeah, let's keep it. Yeah, let's do news for now because I kind of want to do some demos and kind of show you a new tool that I have, and so that might take up a little more time than we anticipate.
All
So,
right,
yeah,
all right.
Continue with news. We'll go from there.
You have a deal. All right. So Ignite, obviously, the big thing happening this week. And I stumbled across a tweet from Mr. Martin, not regarding his WinRE list, but just a tweet in general regarding cloud recovery. So let me go ahead and share my screen into that mix. Share a screen. Entire screen and my screen. And I will remove yours for now, Andrew. There we go. So Martin listening on a specific breakout session, and I am the 1700 is the ID for it. But that is the session that covers tons of like shorter enhancements around Windows 11 and the Windows 365 ecosystem. But what caught my attention in this session happened around 32 minutes and 47 seconds in, because that's when they talk about the Windows Resilience Initiative that Microsoft started. They announced it last year, but this year they added in 3 things that I found interesting. One is Intune recovery, where you have the ability to send custom scripts from Intune to machines that are in WinRE, so meaning in recovery mode in Windows. The point-in-time restore that was previously only for Windows 365 PCs, like being able to go back like a checkpoint in time, is now coming to all Windows 11 PCs. I didn't see a timeline for it, but it's coming. And also cloud rebuild. So if you have a machine that cannot boot, you will be able to, I'm just going to close that window because it's messing around with me. You're going to be able to control that through Intune as well. So I thought that was pretty cool announcements coming up. Looking forward to play around and test with it and test it and see how it works. Now, as always, every time there is Ignite, there is the book of news from Ignite. See where I saved that link. There we go. So this one here, Microsoft do this every year. And if you scroll down the table of content there, you can see there is a good chunk on different topics. And for each of the topics, you will learn about what Microsoft is announcing this New Year's conference. Now, the Intune team also have their own little Ignite section. They call it what's new in for Microsoft Ignite or Microsoft Intune at Ignite. So recommend reading that one. Jason Rosak, one of the VPs and the Intune team that is sharing that information. Bit of a long read, but highly recommend. And finally, well, Cloudflare was out the other day also. So this one here, Microsoft is adding in security Copilot into the Microsoft 365 E5 license count. So right now in our lab, we have 4 licenses. So I guess that gives us 1.6 compute units that we can play around with. So that'll be good. I did the math there from that you got 400 per 1,000, so that gave me 0.4 for 1 and 1.6 for 4. Then Mr. Tom Warren over at The Verge. Next year, 2026, Microsoft's adding in Sysmon directly into Windows. So the sysinternals tools has been around for, wow, probably a decade, if not more. So that's cool. Allow me to track changes, basically.
Love it.
In Windows, yeah, that's cool. So that's what I had in terms of news. Any that I missed there, Andrew, from
Not that I caught. I was waiting to see if you mentioned the security Copilot thing. That's pretty cool. But not that I caught. But I think when we the next time we have office hours, we have plenty of time for you and I to digest Ignite information.
Yeah. I also brought up this one here. They did release basically a post-mortem about why did happen. The outage was an interesting read. Basically, an engineer doing a permissions update of a database, and that generated a file that was bigger than expected. And instead of testing that from a couple of hosts first, they tested it everywhere. Which is a way to test things, but maybe not the ideal way.
I'm glad to see they test in production just like I do.
Test in production, yeah. Deploy on Fridays. That's how we do it. Except it was a Monday or Tuesday.
Or do they? I think they call it vibe coding now.
Yes. That's what the cool kids call it.
Right.
These things keep me humble, knowing that the certificates are always hard, databases are always hard. It's not just you and your own organization having problems with those things. Even Cloudflare, even AWS.
Fun enough, DNS is typically not that hard, but it also gets misconfigured frequently. But I have one final thing before I will let Richard go here. You might have seen this in our social media posts throughout the last couple of weeks, but we have Richard joining us tomorrow again. We are doing what we call Back to Basics, Microsoft Essential for New Technology or New Techs, new IT people, new IT pros. If you happen to be a developer, I'm pretty sure there are a couple of things that are interest of you as well, but it was something we wanted to put together to give folks that are new in the IT industry, especially the Microsoft IT industry. We wanted them to give them a kick in the right direction, with summarizing things that I certainly wanted to know when I started my career just a couple of years ago here, and would be helpful, we think. So if you know anyone that is new in IT, want to get a crash course in a little bit of everything, identity, networking, policies, normal policies, patching, PowerShell, troubleshooting tools, even some system tunnels tools here. Please join us tomorrow. The price for this one is just right. It's a community resource. It's for free, so
can't beat that.
Be able to swing that cost around. Yeah. But that was all I had. So, Richard, I guess it's demo time.
Very good. Let me. Do you share my screen or how's that work?
You share it to the platform, and then I enable it.
I see. Okay, cool.
Takes a little bit of teamwork.
Yeah, it's a team effort on that one.
Good deal. Let me share that one.
All right, I see it showing up as a source. I shall open it there, and I'm going to close mine here. And there we are.
Fantastic. But so what I wanted to come on and chat with you and your audience today about was a scenario that came up. It was actually brought to me by a customer about a week or so ago. Kind of caught me off guard, and I thought, well, if I wasn't aware of this, perhaps your audience may not be as well. But before I start that, I came across something else as well, and I've seen mention of this, but I've not. So this is more me asking you and your audience about this. I'm in the local computer certificate store on this Entra joint device, and you'll see that we have our MDM device CA issued certificate, which is, as everyone here probably knows, is crucial because that's how you authenticate to Intune, right? This certificate is deleted or expires, it forces a re-enrollment. What you'll notice here is that the expiration date is on May 4th, unusual because this certificate was enrolled on November the 10th. So this is not typically certificates are like 1 year or 6 months or 90 days or things like that. So that's unusual. One of the things that I noticed immediately was walking up the chain is that the intermediate certificate also expires on May 4th, coincidentally. Now, naturally, CAs cannot issue certificates that are valid for longer than their own signing certificate's lifetime. So even though this template might have been for a 1-year certificate, since the CA's signing certificate expired on May 4th, so does our certificate here. Now, what I have not seen here is anything about Microsoft updating this, and I can't seem to find anything about that. So before I get started on the thing that I really wanted to share with you, I'm more asking you and your audience about this. Are you aware of anything that Microsoft is working on to address this?
Not that I've stumbled across, but I heard the same concern that you are raising in the community.
And by the way, if you go to let me see, let me pull this up here. Intune. As I was diving through this, jump over to Intune here real quick. Again, and this came up, and I was working with a customer on something related, the UEFI thing, and so we started kind of going down the rabbit hole on this. What I was able to find is if you go to devices and all devices, because this sparked some concern. He's like, well, do you know anything about this? I'm like, no, but they got to fix this before May 4th, right? I noticed that if you go to all devices and go to columns, there is a management certificate expiration date column that you can add. And of course, you can filter on, sort on that column. I'm going to expect that everyone here is seeing a lot of May 4th devices, even though the enrollment dates might be very much different than that. And again, I've found nothing online or from any of the people that I know that talks about Microsoft addressing this. And so I'm throwing it out there as a question is obviously it's got to be fixed and fixed soon. And obviously we have to have time to get this updated, right? Now, May 4th is coming quickly. If you have endpoints that remain offline past that date, we're going to have some problems, I would expect, right?
I mean, Rudy tweeted about this just a couple of weeks back. He got the month wrong accidentally in his tweet, but he did mention that the problem with this, and I asked the Intune team for clarification. And that particular thread, that turned out to be quite a good number of like answers to, but nothing from the team itself that confirmed the way that they are thinking going forward.
Assume they obviously are aware of this and they're going to address it, but I've just not gotten any communication about, hey, we're pushing this out, or
But the good news is May 4th is the first week of MMS. A good chunk of the Intune team, plus most of the Intune experts in the world, is at the same place, the same venue that day. So
if they don't fix it before then, we'll know who to talk to.
Yes.
If you thought the Cloudflare outage was bad. Yeah. So anyway, I hope they're addressing this. I look at this and think, man, that's cutting it close for my personal liking. I would like to do that well before, 6 months or a year. But anyway, it is what it is. So the reason I'm here is that I'll share with you a story. About week and a half or so ago, I had a customer reach out and say, hey, I found this article about Windows Secure Boot certificate expiration and CA updates. And they said, what do you know about this? And my answer was immediately nothing. So I don't deal with systems management. I am not, and by the way, this may surprise your audience, that I am not a systems management professional. So, your world frightens and confuses me. So I kind of stay out of it and let you guys handle that. By the way, that reference is a good one from SNL if you want to look that one up. But anyway, bottom line was, okay, well, let me look into this. And so I read the article, and it's basically saying, hey, Windows Secure Boot came out in Windows 8, so around the 2012-ish frame. And the certificates that they originally used for UEFI Secure Boot, some of those certificates are coming up for expiration. And so specifically, if you go down here to the bottom here, there is a kind of a table here of certificates, and they are coming up for expiration in June of 2026, so June of next year. And so I thought, okay, well, that's awesome. How is this updated? So I had to kind of educate myself on UEFI and how to deal with all that stuff. And so going down this rabbit hole of investigating this, I discovered that yes, Microsoft's addressing this. You can fix this. But my first concern was, well, how does this work for like offline systems, maybe air-gapped systems or systems that are not being managed? So the short order is, if you're doing Windows Update is going to take care of it. Awesome. But what if you're not, right? And so we started going down that rabbit hole. That being said, in part of my kind of troubleshooting here was, my first thing was, well, let's take a look at these certificates and see what we can see. So if you go to I'm on my Windows 11 machine here, and let me open this up, and you can of course confirm, confirm secure boot, which tells me the secure boot's enabled, right? And then, of course, you can get secure boot, and I forget what it is, UEFI, and then the name would be, and by the way, there are different types of certificates in the UEFI database. There's the platform key, or PK. There's the key exchange keys, which are called KEK, which are basically authorized users to update the DB and DBX. The DB is the allowed signature database. The DBX is the disallowed signature database. And so if I look at the KEK here, which is the critical one that we're interested in, of course, it doesn't provide me a lot of useful information. So, of course, format list star, let's see what else is available. Pretty much nothing of use to the administrator. I can't look at the certificate. I don't know what's in there. So my thought was, well, let's use PowerShell to create a tool and do this. And after a fair amount of iteration, I did come up with something. It's called Get-UEFICertificate. And you can specify the certificate, you can specify the platform key, the key exchange key, or the DB certificates. In this case, I'm going to look at the key exchange key because this is the one that we're crucially interested in. And in this case, you can see here is the certificate now. And of course, this tool allows you to output this in readable format. This is the Microsoft KEK 2011, which is the one that is expiring in June 26th. So you can see it's actually on June 24th. Now, this system here, of course, is updated because it has the replacement, which is the KEK 2K CA 2023 expiring in 2038. So this tool is really helpful for me helping my customer evaluate whether or not this was something that they needed to address. And of course, it is. Now, we started going down the path of, okay, well, so how do we do this? A bit of research yielded an article from Microsoft about updating secure boot software. Awesome. So I started going down this article here, and of course, it talks about the new the old certificate, the old CA. This is the new CA that we want, and then how to apply this database. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see that it gave you a registry key to set. So you set this registry key to this value, and then you kick off this scheduled task, and that was supposed to kick off a UEFI database update. However, Microsoft literally just last month, where did it go? Where is it? I thought I saved it here. Is it this one? Oh, it's this one. Registry key updates. So in the October updates that just came out, they released a whole bunch of new registry keys for us to be able to monitor this. So specifically, if you go down here, you'll see that there's some new keys. Everything is under this key now. And there's an available updates key, high output. These are basically keys to control how these certificates are applied. But crucially, there is a status key now. So what you can do is, let me grab my cheat sheet here, and we can actually just query this particular registry key. And you can see on this system that it indicates as updated. This article also includes information about, where it's wrong in here, there we are, about if there's any errors, if it's capable even. And so there's some good information in here. So how to deploy it. Basically what you'll have to do is set a registry key, kick off a scheduled task, and then once that's done, reboot the system, kick off the task again, and what it should then yield is a status of updated. When you kick off the process, it'll actually go to in progress. And then in my experience, it took 2 reboots. After the first reboot, if you ran my PowerShell command, it would actually show you the new certificates in the store, but this doesn't get updated to updated till another reboot for some reason. At least that's what I was experiencing in my lab. So that being said, these new registry key information might be helpful for administrators monitoring their estate to see if they've got these updated. The tool that I created for my purposes here is in GitHub. So let me share that with you. So if you go to github.com/richardhicks/UEFI, it's in the UEFI repository, and I have a certificate or a PowerShell script called Get-UEFICertificate. This certificate does allow you to view the certificates selectively, so I can look at either the PK, the platform key, the key exchange keys, or the database individually or in combination. Also, if you want to see these certificates, it does support out file, so you can actually do an out file and pull the certificates up and look at them yourself with UI or CertUtil or what have you. And again, it is here in GitHub. It is also available via the PowerShell gallery.
Andrew, did you hear the last thing well from Richard?
You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I think it's my audio that is messing with me at the moment, but all right.
Okay.
Never mind.
All right, we're all good?
I think so.
Good deal. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I can still hear you, but and hopefully you can hear me good. So awesome. So anyway, you can install this from the PowerShell gallery. So just install script-name Get-UEFICertificate. And that may be helpful for you. The critical thing to remember is that obviously we need to update these systems before that first expiration event, which is the June 2026 event. This certificate here is crucial because this certificate is it's what's known as a KEK or a key exchange key. And in UEFI, with the key exchange key is basically who is authorized to update the database of allowed bootloaders and things like that. And so the DB and the DBX are updated by this. So if this certificate expires, systems will still boot normally, but you will be, if there's any other non-compliant or malicious bootloaders or anything else like that that's noticed in the field, you wouldn't be able to update UEFI. So secure boot would be less effective if this certificate is allowed to expire. So we want to make sure that we get that done. And then, of course, the other one that's important here is this is in the DB database. So you can see it's stored in DB. This is in October. And once again, once the KEK is updated, I expect this one to be updated automatically. But again, you can monitor that using the tool. But the crucial one is this one, June 26th, the KEK CA 2011 is expiring. We definitely want to do that before we cause more problems.
All right.
Good deal.
Well, three things come to mind.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Then a question: do you ever sleep? And also, we should get you in basically a locked room together with Mike Terrell and Gary Block, and then don't let you guys leave until you have written up a nice summary of all of these findings, because Gary and Mike have been presenting about this for a couple of years at MMS and shared a good chunk of resources over the years as well.
Good.
And three things I wanted to just showcase in relation to this. Yes, and Richard, by the way, can you just drop an email with those links, and we'll make sure to get added them to the video or the description in the video.
You bet.
So first of all, ConfigMgr, the very latest release, 2509, which is now in early ring, was just released a couple of days back here. There is no checkbox to go ahead and replace those netboot files with the new version.
Oh, nice.
But just make sure that if you have devices that you have not mitigated and you do this, they may not ever fix boot again. So that requires some bit of timing into that mix. And then two channels. This one from Helmut over in Germany, who works at Microsoft. A really good article around how it all works together. And then from Simon, I think it's over in the UK, Simon Bond here. Quite fitting, James Bond.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he wrote a nice little article on how to set this up the manual way, if you're not on that. But
very good. Very good. I would imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, I would imagine dealing with UEFI updates or any firmware or hardware updates from a systems management perspective is probably the least fun you can have in that job, right?
Especially with all the different hardware, because the vendors have to address this as well, and they already have. They're starting to release BIOS updates for the past year now.
Yeah.
With that change with them. And also, of course, Windows itself does it.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Hyper-V is fun, or I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Because if you boot up a mitigated Hyper-V machine on the wrong media or the right media, however you word it, you'll get this lovely little, all right, this is not okay. We expect this, you are on this, go away.
Yeah.
And it will shut down.
Yep. Good times. Good times.
Indeed. All right. That was it. Thank you so much, Richard.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff.
Yep. All right. Now, do we have any questions?
We do. And before I ask them, Richard, I do appreciate your unfrozen caveman lawyer reference. That was fantastic.
I use that quite a bit. That was one of my favorites.
Yes, I often say I'm just a caveman.
Just a simple caveman.
Yep. So the first one we have here, do I have background noise coming through? Or if
Sounds
not,
good.
then
We're good.
Oh, no, we're good.
Sounds good to me.
There's a drill running upstairs, so.
Oh, good time.
All right. Do we know of a way to control or mitigate the impact of reboots for extension drivers with Windows Update for Business drivers and firmware, since those don't respect deadline settings?
Well, you can certainly control what date you approve them. But after that, it's pretty much anyone's guess when they apply to the device. Intune currently don't believe in maintenance windows in general. So this is no exception to that rule. If you absolutely must have control, use something else. You may be able to get creative with some remediation script and whatnot if there are like specific drivers that you want to address, because at least there you can put in some manual control in the script. Like when the script runs, you have a line in the script that checks for a date and time, and if it's not that date and time, don't do anything. So you can create a very cumbersome version of a maintenance window that way, but the platform doesn't have it. So, sorry.
Not today. Did you mention that news when you were giving your Ignite updates?
No.
Did you miss that news?
You know that apparently.
All right. Hold on. Let's let this load. All right. Do you want to share my screen?
Yes, sir.
That's the.
I say yes, sir, then I cannot find your screen. Wait a minute. Here we go.
Well, then I'm happy to be the first to tell you, Johan, that maintenance windows are rolling out in preview Q1 of 2026.
Wow.
Nice.
And specifically OS updates, drivers, and firmware.
You heard it here
That
first.
only took them 14 years.
So we'll see.
That is the most amazing news all day.
I had to double check. As you were talking, I was like, I remember I saw a tweet that said maintenance windows, and I had to run and...
And this was announced when?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So this is in that that big what's new.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. So there's quite a few nuggets in here. I'm surprised that it's buried right there.
That's definitely bearing the lead, right? Yeah, that's
should be in the banner. Should be
right.
Well, I mean, you know what they had to lead off with.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think to recap, no, not today, right? But hopefully it looks like we've got something coming in preview here in just a few months, which is fantastic. And we're all very excited about that.
But it's like the number one. That and better inventory and / reporting.
Yeah.
Maintenance window is like the number one request.
I think if user voice was still around, it would be like light years beyond everything else.
That's for sure.
I do see a comment here too, checking and seeing that some new certs are ending on November 11th, those Intune management certs. So there's a comment here in the chat. And I saw that as well on my end, Richard. I had a few devices. I don't know if this is all anecdotal, but all of these devices that I have here that are showing November, they were off for some time.
Yeah.
And I just turned them on last Saturday or Sunday.
What's interesting is they all have different dates, though. 13, 14, 15. So they're close.
Yeah.
But they're not the same.
But my best guess is when they were first coming back up and checking in.
Yeah.
These were a whole bunch of VMs that are running in a nested Hyper-V VM.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, to your point,
the 5426 is the one that's critical, and they're all. If you see the 7 p.m. is, not sure why the varying times, but yeah, the 5.4 is definitely critical.
Yep. So at least a couple of other data points. I don't really know what that means that these are showing up in November, but
yeah, that's unusual. I'd like to look at that certificate. See if it's issued by the same CA.
Be arranged.
Yes, it can. The same one right there.
Yeah, so that looks like that's interesting. So maybe that's the new one, issued by Intune. Yeah, go to the certification path. Highlight the intermediate certificate, and then choose View Certificate. So that is a renewed certificate. So that is rolling out. That new change is rolling out then.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's good because that's 2028. See?
Yeah.
And those are it's a 3-year certificate. Wow. Okay. They don't have to deal with the renewal, I guess. Good enough. Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic. Yeah. Go to the certification path on that one. Go to the root. Highlight that one and View Certificate. And that one is 2030. Is that different than the one that I had in mind? Let's see. So I'm wondering if they have renewed all of it. Yeah, the root CA certificate for mine, for the one that expires the one that I have that's expiring in May, The root certificate for that one expires in 2026. So yeah, so it looks like they've renewed the entire chain, because it looks like it's the same Microsoft Intune root CA, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like they've renewed it, and now they're starting to roll it out. Okay, so that's good. That's empirical evidence that they are dealing with it, and that you've got machines that are updating. Probably that group of machines that came up got these new updates all around the same time, right? So 12, 13, 14, and so that makes sense. So yeah, good to know. All right, good to know. It's taking care of itself. That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's hot off the presses right there.
Yeah. Well, and again, something to be mindful of, right? Probably should be watching that for machines that maybe aren't coming online or maybe aren't syncing. And as you get closer to that May 4th date, you'll want to go make sure that those are cooperating before that device certificate expires. So
yeah, so I just found a couple of other VMs that I haven't turned on in a while and fired them up to see what happens with them. And I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good deal.
All right. So let's see. A couple of comments. Yeah, I see on the UEFI CA, Zach said, sticking with Gary and Mike and have my environment halfway updated, waiting to see what other assistance we're going to get. So I think what you showed us there earlier, Richard, is taking us even further. That's awesome.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty quick. I mean, you set that registry, kick off that task, one reboot, and it's updated. So
very cool. Yeah, I the comment here, all-in-one simple update and script is needed. Having to do multiple steps in order to get this updated and to have to do all of those checks to make sure is scary AF. Yes, it is.
Well, again, the beauty here is that with the October update, they added this one registry key that tells you what that 2023 status is.
Yep.
And so all you need to do is query that registry key across your estate and make sure everybody says updated, and you should be good. Kicking on, all you have to do is set that one registry key in the first place. So the October 2025 update is key. It makes everybody's life simpler. You set the registry key, kick off, and by the way, you kick off the task, or just the task runs, I think, every 12 hours. So you could literally just set the registry key and just let it deal with itself. It'll eventually update it. But if you set that registry key and then just monitor the 2023 status key for updated, then it should be pretty straightforward, I would think.
All right, good news.
Very good. Yeah, I see Zach's comment here too. BIOS updates have gotten much easier to manage. Yeah, they're not quite as anxiety-inducing as they used to be.
I agree, but I have a Dell workstation as my daily driver here, and last year I did a BIOS update that bricked it. So I'm a little gun shy now.
Yeah,
but it wasn't terrible in that. And by the way, I was a month out of warranty, so I had to pay for support. But it was $200. They came out and replaced the board. I think the board cost a few $100. And then, I think the whole thing was $200 or $300 with the board and the guy to come out and replace it for me. And since it was inexpensive, I'm like, yeah, you deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And it was not the end of the world, but I was, had to work with my laptop for a week till they got things ordered and got a guy out here and stuff like that. And was a pain in the butt. But now it's like I told myself, okay, so I'm not updating firmware on this workstation until I have to replace it. But now I'm at a point where it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the TPM firmware is probably the scariest one for you guys. I don't know how often that occurs in your world, but
once you're up on version 2, it's pretty okay to deal with like minor updates after the fact. But coming to 2, we worked over the years with a couple of customers who were like lagging behind heavily and having to go through a fleet of like 6-7 years of age to bring them up to that version. That took several weeks.
I've been telling customers, if you have 7-8-year-old hardware, it's time to refresh. Come on, right? Unless you're like absolutely
Depends.
Nonprofit, no funding. I get that happens, but yeah, it's
normal devices, absolutely yes, like information worker, office type people. But when
right,
you have devices that control manufacturing, there is a whole different discussions. Like,
no question.
oh,
Yeah,
we are not
embedded medical
replacing this.
devices.
Yeah,
Embedded medical devices, no question. Yeah,
yeah.
Got to deal with it.
Oh, you have an MRI scanner. Let's patch
Right.
it. Shall we? Well, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Patch it without a maintenance window.
Well, all right. Awesome. Any other questions coming in?
I am seeing.
I saw the comment from Sat over there. Sack over there. Bring that up to speed. Talked about using scripts, so. I love it. It's not half bad. It's like it does the job.
That's right.
All right. Well, I don't see any new questions coming in, but Richard, you'll be back here on our academy next year, I believe, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Why?
So, couple of things going on next year with you guys. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And tomorrow morning, looking forward to that too.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh yeah, you guys are making me get up early for that one too.
Just gonna say, that will be an early one for you.
That's right.
I'm sorry, man.
I'll get the coffee going early.
There you go. All right, then, well, since there are no more comments coming in, I guess we are off the hook a couple of minutes early. So
Cool.
Go ahead and remove that screen share. And Andrew, Richard, thank you so much for joining. Everyone out there also, thank you. And just a bit of update here. Next week, we are celebrating Thanksgiving here in the US. It's kind of a big deal for us. So we will not be running office hours next week. So you get a break. And we see you again in 2 weeks' time. So again, thank you, everyone.
Very good. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everyone, guys.
Everyone.